mechanics type of measurement. Next line, write down subdivision number 2, power type of measurement. Subdivision number 2, power type of measurement. See, for this question, subdivision number 1, mechanics type of measurement. For this, write down subdivision A, empirical method. Second, subdivision B, rational method. Subdivision C, experimental method. For this question, explain empirical method, rational method and experimental method with your own method or with your own sentence. So empirical method, which is based on intuition, like that you explain the empirical method. Next, come to the point. The rational method is completely based on well established scientific laws and relationship. And third one, experimental method, in that is based on trial and error. Say, all of you, next to the experimental method, in bracket write down trial and error method. After experimental method, put a bracket and write down trial and error method. Next, come to the point. The next classification of mechanical measurement, that is power type of measurement. All of you go through the explanation. So for this, good example is steam thermal power plant. Steam thermal power plant. So for that, good example is RTPS, that's in Raichur. Steam power plant, power type of measurement. All the measurement are carried out by using translations. So the flow of steam, the temperature of the steam, and many more quantities are controlled, monitored with the help of reference or standard. So that is power type of measurement. Next, come to the point. Write down the question. Fundamental method of measurement. Explain briefly the fundamental method of measurement. Explain briefly the fundamental method of measurement. So below that, write down in next line, in bracket write down number 1, direct method. Next line write down number 2, indirect method. In case of direct method, that is measurement of length, mass and time. So everything is direct. There is no translation. In indirect method, the measurement of strain using strain indicator, or measurement of mass by using digital weighing machine, or measuring the speed of the vehicle by using speedometer in the vehicle, or the capacity of the fuel in the fuel tank in four-wheeler or truck or in any vehicle. So that is the indirect method. Next, come to the point. All of you write down, mark it very important. You may have this question in the test as well as in the examination. Explain briefly the following. Explain briefly the following. Write down once again, I repeat. Explain briefly the following. Number 1, calibration. Number 1, the calibration. So what is the definition of calibration? That is nothing but see, while measuring anything, whether it is length, mass, breadth, temperature, pressure, or anything, you have a standard measuring instrument. If I have the error in the measurement, so you are not getting the precise result, or you are not getting the good result, so then you may observe that something happened to the instrument, so for that reason which is giving wrong result. So that indicates that your measuring instrument requires calibration. So in practice, we have standard institutions in Bangalore and all the state capitals, the Bureau of Indian Standards near to the Peña. So if you have error in the instruments which we use in the metrology lab, we have to calibrate with the standard instruments available in the Bureau of Indian Standards in Bangalore. That's the standard organization. So ours is the working standard or reference standard, and we have to calibrate with the working or reference standard with the calibration standard which is available in the Bureau of Indian Standard in Bangalore, that is BIS. That the calibration is very much essential for measuring instruments. That's the definition. Write this explanation with your own sentence. No need to reproduce the same explanation which you have. Next, come to the point, the sensitivity. Say, the sensitivity is very, very important. Say, without sensitivity, you don't have any type of measurement, because if you have the sensitive result, then only which is acceptable. If the answer is for or below, for or less than the required one, then what is the necessity of doing measurement? The important thing is the sensitivity of the instrument. How do you measure the sensitivity of the instrument? For that, you have a curve. See here, you have two curves. This is called as calibration curve. All of you write down. First, number 1 is calibration. Number 2 is sensitivity. See, all of you observe here the calibration curve, which indicates for given our input, for that you must get the desired output. Remember the word desired output. For example, if you are measuring the diameter of the shaft by using micrometer, say the diameter of shaft is 20 millimeter. Say for example, the diameter of the shaft is 20 millimeter. Say if you measure the diameter by using micrometer, you must get 20. You must get 20 millimeter only. The input is 20. For that output is also you must get 20. But in actual practice, you will get 19.999 or 20.0111 like this. Why? There will be difference in the result, because the diameter of the shaft is 20. For that you must get 20. But in actual practice, you are getting less than the required or more than the required. So that is the error. So for that, there will be two types of error can be calculated by using measurement. That is progressive error and the periodic error. Already you have performed the experiment, that is the calibration of micrometer by using standard, using end standard, that is the slip gauges, that is slip gauges. Using slip gauges, you already perform the calibration of the micrometer using end standard. So by giving input, say for example 10 millimeter, you must get 10 only, but in the actual practice you may have 9.999 or 10.012 like this. So for that reason, the error which is coming from the measurement, that should be removed or rectified, or you can avoid the error. So that type of error occurs in the instrument after continuous use of 10 years or 15 years or more than that. So due to that, the error occur in the instrument. So that can be removed by drawing the calibration curve like this. Say this is the slope of the curve. Some values are below the required, some values above the required. This is the calibration curve. The sensitivity of the instrument, that is nothing but that is the sensitivity equal to, that is considered from the calibration curve, limit delta tends to 0. The meaning of limit delta tends to 0 is, for 0 input you must get 0 output. That can be defined with the ratio of input to the output, delta qi to the delta qo. And also you can define the sensitivity equal to limit delta tends to 0, limit delta tends to 0, that can be defined as ratio of input to the output. Input is qi and the output is qo. Delta qi to the ratio of delta qi to delta qo for all the values of input I, for all the values of I. And this sensitivity can be defined by using calibration curve. All of you observe here. This is the calibration curve, and here this is the slope of the curve, indicates some of the values are above the required value and some of the values are below the required value. For that you can draw the calibration curve. This much of explanation is required in the examination. Write down number 2 is sensitivity. Number 2 is sensitivity. Next, write down number 4, repeatability. Repeatability. See, repeatability can be defined, that is the repetition of the error. Repetition of the error, that is nothing but, I ask you to measure the temperature of the oil at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock. Say morning 10 o'clock, the temperature of the oil is 35 degrees centigrade, and 11 o'clock 36, sorry 11 o'clock 35, 12 o'clock 36, 1 o'clock 36, 2 o'clock 37, 3 o'clock 38, 4 o'clock 38, again 5 o'clock 35 degrees centigrade. See, the thermometer is same, oil is same, and you are measuring the temperature inside the laboratory. Due to that, the temperature of the oil, you are getting the result. So if you measure the temperature of the oil at a different temperature interval, you have different result. You have different result. Why you are getting a different result? That is due to some unavoidable circumstances. Some unavoidable circumstances. That is due to the variation in the temperature, the variation in the condition. You have different result. Who is writing on the screen? Remove that. The same system, same temperature measuring instrument, that's thermometer and the oil, but you are getting the different result. That can be minimized. Repeatability error can be minimized, or you can reduce the error occurring in the instrument by taking the average of that. So all of you observe here, this is the input x-axis, and the y-axis you have the output. So this is the curve, the repeatability curve. The dots or indicates the error that may be above the required one. Some of the values are below the line. Remove the line. Who is writing on the screen? Some of the values are below this required value and some of the values are above the value. This is called plus or minus repeatability error by taking the average of the reading. For example, I ask you to measure 7 times. The results of the measurement 7 times divided by 7. That's the average measurement that reduces repeatability error in the measurement. Next, come to the point, hysteresis. This is very, very important for mechanical engineers. That is the that is threshold resolution or hysteresis. This is nothing but loading the component or loading the specimen alternatively. First tension in the again after before the elastic limit, again load the specimen in tension, compression, tension, first tension, next compression, again tension, again compression. If you plot the values input versus output, that is the input is load applied on the specimen and what is the output? What output means the elongation of the specimen, that is the load, respective load for that how much elongation is there. Here you can observe the maximum output hysteresis, here the maximum input hysteresis. From this you can understand this concept is very much essential for deformation process. Deformation process within the elastic limit. If the elastic limit, if it crosses the elastic limit, you have the permanent deformation. But in case of within the elastic limit, all of you see the rim of the two-wheeler or body of the car or the petrol tank or fuel tank of the two-wheeler, that is designed by using the hysteresis concept in manufacturing process. For this, good example is the utensils you have in your kitchen. All the utensils are manufactured from the process called spinning process. Spinning lathes are available. From that they manufacture aluminum, stainless steel and copper kitchen utensils. That is very good example for hysteresis. See, first one is calibration, second one is sensitivity, third one is repeatability, fourth one is hysteresis. Write down hysteresis. Next, number 4, accuracy. Number 4, accuracy. So the accuracy of the instrument is very, very important. You can calculate the accuracy. Accuracy is nothing but maximum error. The error may be positive, the error may be negative. That can be calculated by using percent accuracy based on reading multiply by 100 and the percent accuracy based on full scale multiply 100. Say the accuracy of the instrument is very, very important. So all of you go through the explanation and explain the accuracy. Next, the precision. So for this is the 6th definition in mechanical measurement. 6th one, precision. All of you write down 6th one, precision. The degree of agreement between repeated results. The measurement with a small random error. So measurement with a small random error. Meaning of this is, for example, you need 10 millimeter. For that, if you have 9.99999 or 10.0001, that is the random error while measuring the length of the specimen while measuring the diameter of the shaft. So you may have small random error. So sometimes this random error can be neglected. Random error can be neglected. So that type of error occurs in the measurement. So for this good example is, all of you seen the clock showroom. All of you seen the clock showroom. Say for example, the time, all you have seen the clock showroom. Some of the clocks are running, some of the clocks are not running. So if you fix the time 9:20, so you fix the time 9:20. So you are not mentioning AM or PM. Just you fix the time 9:20. How it is how the result of measurement is precise? That is nothing but, say 9:20, which is coming one time in the morning and one time in the evening, that's in the night. So the result is precise one in the morning and as well as in the night. That is, the result is precise one morning at 9:20 and morning at 9:20 a.m. and the result is precise one and the night 9:20 p.m. That is nothing but the precise data, that is with the small random error. You may have 9:20, 9 o'clock and 20 minutes 30 seconds or 3 seconds. The 3 seconds or 30 seconds are negligible, but the time is 9:20 is accurate and precise one in the morning and in the night. So these are the six definition are there. Among six, 4 is 100% guarantee in the examination. All of you mark it, very, very important. So among six, 4 is 100% guarantee in the examination. All of you mark it, very, very important. Next question, write down. What is transducer? What is transducer? What is transducer? Define transfer efficiency. Define transfer efficiency. So all of you know that transfer efficiency can be defined as, which is the input to the system. For that you must get the output. That is the efficiency of the measuring instrument or efficiency of the engine or efficiency of the any machine tool. You will not get 100% efficiency always, which is less than 100% or less than 1. So that is less than unity. Definition of the transfer function is, it is the ratio of input to the output, which is always less than 1. So write down the question. What is transducer? Question mark. Define transfer efficiency. Next question, write down. Explain briefly with block diagram. Explain briefly with block diagram. Primary and secondary transducer. I repeat, explain briefly with block diagram. Primary and secondary transducer. Next, write down. Explain briefly with neat sketch. Explain briefly with neat sketch electronic transducer. Electronic transducer. Explain briefly with neat sketch electronic transducer. Next, you write down. Very, very important question. You can expect this question in the examination as well as in the test. Explain briefly explain briefly with a neat sketch. Explain briefly with a neat sketch. Generalized description of a measuring system. Generalized description of a measuring system. See, you have explanation here for 5 stages: primary sensing element, second one variable conversion element, variable manipulation element, data transmission element, and data presentation element. All of you read the explanation twice, thrice, or 4 times and write the explanation in your own words or own sentence. Own sentence. Own sentence. All of you please mark it very, very important. This question, without this question, there is no question paper at all. Almost all the question paper, you have this question. This much is enough for this class. I will start the new concept at the new chapter next class. New concept next class, that is intermediate modifying system. Next class I will start the new concept, that is intermediate modifying system. Now at this stage I stop and I make unmute to all. Ganesh, can you listen?
Yes, sir.
Questions ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರಲ್ಲ? ಹಲೋ ಗಣೇಶ್ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರಾ? ಸರಿ, ಆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಗೆ. ಓಕೆ, ನೌ ಐ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ at this stage and I'll continue in the next class.